Welcome to the Prescott Lab podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. Gentlemen, let me start with a truth most men never hear. The very first sign that your blood vessels are in trouble isn't chest pain and it isn't a heart attack. It's the quiet, frustrating loss of your erections. When those small arteries that lead to your penis begin to narrow, blood can't rush in the way it once did. What was once effortless becomes weak, unreliable, discouraging. And too often men shrug and say, "It's just age, doc." But no, it isn't. This is circulation. And ignoring it doesn't just steal intimacy, it can steal years from your life. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott. For over 30 years, I've sat with men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, men who thought their spark was gone forever. And I've watched them come alive again, not because of a pill, but because they finally understood the root cause. Here's the surprise. The key to restoring intimacy isn't locked in a prescription bottle. It's hidden in 4 ordinary nuts you can buy at any grocery store. Simple foods, yet powerful enough to open blood vessels, boost nitric oxide, and bring life back to the very part of you that makes you feel like a man. And before we dive in, let me ask something of you. If you want your body to fight for you, give it a small signal right now, hit the like button. Not for me, but for yourself. Because when you do, you're telling your mind and your body, I'm not finished, I'm choosing renewal. And I'll send this blessing your way. May every man who clicks like today wake tomorrow with more energy, more strength, and a spark of hope he hasn't felt in years. Subscribe if you haven't already and turn on that bell because every week I bring science that's practical, proven, and designed to help men over 60 reclaim confidence without dangerous shortcuts. And type a quick yes in the comments if you're ready to take that step, or no if you need me to earn your trust a little more. Either way, I'll be here walking this road with you. Now let's begin with the first truth. Why erections really fade after 60, and why it's not simply about aging, but about circulation. The hidden problem after 60, why erections fade. Gentlemen, let's get straight to it. When a man in his 60s or 70s tells me, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I want to be close to my wife, but my body doesn't respond the way it used to," I know exactly what he means. That look in his eyes, part embarrassment, part frustration, I've seen it 1,000 times. What so many men don't realize is this: fading erections are rarely about desire. Your heart may still be strong, your mind sharp, your spirit willing, but the real culprit isn't age itself, it's circulation. Here's the simple truth: your penis contains some of the smallest, most delicate blood vessels in your body. And because they are so small, they are the very first to clog. Long before you feel chest pain, long before you suffer a heart attack or stroke, those tiny arteries begin to narrow. And the earliest warning sign, difficulty getting or keeping an erection, think of it as your body's whisper. A fading erection is not just about intimacy. It is your circulatory system raising its hand and saying, "Pay attention, something deeper is going wrong." And the science is clear. Studies from the American Heart Association show that erectile dysfunction is often the very first visible symptom of cardiovascular disease. One landmark study in the journal Circulation 2005 found that men with erectile issues were up to 40% more likely to suffer a heart attack or stroke within the next 5 years compared to men without those problems. So, gentlemen, let's be honest, this isn't just about the bedroom, it's about your life. Your arteries to the penis are the canary in the coal mine, the first to show distress when circulation falters. Ignore it. And you may be ignoring a heart attack waiting in the shadows. But here's the hopeful part: this decline is not inevitable. I've seen men in their late 60s, 70s, even 80s restore not just their intimate life, but their vitality overall once they understood the root cause. Because when you fix circulation, you don't just reclaim firmness, you reclaim energy, clarity, and years of life. So the real question is this: if age itself isn't the villain, and if pills only mask the problem, what can truly restore blood flow? Where do we turn for lasting, natural solutions that strengthen your vessels from the inside out? That, my friends, is where we go next. Why pills fail and natural solutions win. Gentlemen, let's face a hard truth. For millions of men, the first response to fading erections is to reach for a pill. A little blue tablet, a prescription from the doctor, something that promises to flip the switch back on. At first, it feels like a miracle. Blood rushes in, performance returns, and for a moment you feel like yourself again. But here's the problem. Pills don't heal, they push. They force your body into a temporary reaction while the underlying disease continues to progress silently. The arteries remain clogged. The inflammation continues. The heart still strains under the surface. I've seen it too many times. A man comes back to my office and he admits the side effects are weighing on him: the pounding headaches, the flushed face, the racing heartbeat, the uneasy feeling of being dependent on a pill just to feel like a man. And worse, he knows deep down nothing has changed inside. His circulation is still broken. His arteries are still narrowing. He's playing a dangerous game of masking the symptom while ignoring the cause. Science backs this up. A 2013 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine concluded that while PDE5 inhibitors, the class of drugs Viagra and Cialis belong to, can create temporary erections, they do nothing to reverse endothelial dysfunction, the actual damage in your blood vessels. In fact, without lifestyle or nutritional changes, men on these drugs remain at high risk for cardiovascular events. Now contrast that with natural solutions. When you strengthen your blood vessels with foods your body recognizes, antioxidants, amino acids like arginine, minerals like magnesium and zinc, you're not forcing a performance. You're restoring a system. You're healing the endothelium, reducing inflammation, and letting nitric oxide rise naturally, the way your body is designed to function. And the difference is night and day. Pills can trick your body for a night, but nature can restore your body for a lifetime. You feel it not only in the bedroom, but when you wake with energy, when your legs feel lighter, when your heart beats steady, when your mind feels clearer. That is why I always tell my patients, don't settle for masking. Fight for healing. Don't just chase a moment, build a future. So where do we turn? What natural foods can act as daily medicine for circulation, intimacy, and longevity? Surprisingly, the answer isn't exotic or expensive. It's in something you've seen all your life, something so ordinary it's easy to overlook. And that, gentlemen, is the power of nuts, nature's secret weapon for men over 60. Why nuts are a secret weapon? Gentlemen, after 30 years of studying men's health, I can tell you this with confidence. Some of the most powerful medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy. It comes from nature, disguised in the simplest forms. And among all of nature's gifts, nuts stand out as one of the most underrated weapons for restoring a man's vitality. Why? Because nuts are nutrient-dense packages of everything your circulation, hormones, and energy systems crave as you age. They are rich in arginine, an amino acid your body converts into nitric oxide, the very molecule that relaxes your arteries and allows blood to surge freely. They deliver antioxidants like vitamin E and polyphenols that protect your artery walls from damage. They provide healthy fats that lower cholesterol, magnesium to relax blood vessels, and zinc to support testosterone. It's like holding a natural prescription in the palm of your hand. Only this one doesn't come with side effects, it comes with healing. I'll never forget a patient named Richard, 68 years old. He came to me defeated after trying pills, diets, even hormone injections. Nothing lasted. I asked him a simple question: what's in your diet that feeds your arteries? He stared blankly. He had never thought of food as medicine. So I told him, start with a handful of nuts each day. Not candy-coated, not salted to death, just natural whole nuts. Treat them as part of your prescription for life. 6 weeks later, Richard returned with a grin I hadn't seen before. His energy was steadier, his mood brighter, and intimacy had quietly found its way back into his marriage. He said, "Doc, I can't believe something so small could make such a difference." That's the beauty of nuts. They are ordinary, affordable, and available in every grocery store. And yet, when used consistently, they transform circulation, hormones, and stamina. Science agrees. Clinical research in the International Journal of Impotence Research, 2011, showed that men who ate pistachios daily for 3 weeks experienced significant improvements in erectile function and blood flow. Another study in Circulation, 2010, confirmed that walnuts improve endothelial function, the health of your blood vessel lining, critical for both heart health and erections. So the question isn't whether nuts work. The question is which nuts deliver the biggest impact for men over 60. And that, gentlemen, is where things get exciting. Because there are 6 in particular that I recommend to almost every patient I see. 6 humble foods that clean your arteries, boost nitric oxide, balance hormones, fuel energy, and reignite intimacy. Let's begin with the first. A nut shaped like a brain but designed to clean your arteries like a broom. The walnut. Nut-1, walnuts the artery cleaner. Gentlemen, let's start with a nut that looks like a brain but acts like a broom. The walnut. For decades, researchers have marveled at how something so small can deliver such a powerful punch to cardiovascular health. Walnuts are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and arginine, the perfect trio for keeping arteries flexible, clean, and ready to carry blood where it matters most. Here's why it's so important for men over 60. As you age, your endothelium, the delicate lining of your blood vessels, begins to stiffen and lose its responsiveness. Walnuts directly improve endothelial function. A 2010 study published in Circulation demonstrated that men who added walnuts to their diet experienced measurable improvements in arterial flexibility and reduced cholesterol buildup. In plain English, walnuts help your pipe stay open, smooth, and unclogged. And yes, that matters in the bedroom, because the same arteries that carry blood to your heart are the ones that carry it to your penis. If the flow is blocked in one, it's blocked in the other. By cleaning and relaxing those vessels, walnuts restore not only cardiovascular health but also sexual confidence. I think of George, a 71-year-old patient who told me, "Doc, I feel like my body is slowing down. My mind is still sharp, but my legs are heavy and intimacy, well, let's just say it isn't what it used to be." I recommended something simple, 1 handful of walnuts every morning alongside his usual breakfast. No pills, no gimmicks, just consistency. 6 weeks later, George came back with a grin. "Doctor, I don't know how else to say it, but something's working again. My energy is better." My wife noticed before I did, and for the first time in years, I feel like myself. That, gentleman, is not coincidence. That's circulation being restored at its root. That's blood vessels responding to the fuel you feed them. So when you see that bowl of walnuts on the kitchen counter, don't think of it as just a snack. Think of it as medicine for your arteries, your energy, and your masculinity. And if walnuts can deliver results this powerful, imagine what happens when we turn to the next nut. A nut so potent that researchers call it nature's Viagra. Nut-2, pistachios nature's Viagra. Gentlemen, if walnuts are the broom that cleans your arteries, pistachios are the spark that flips the switch back on. I call them nature's Viagra, and the science backs me up. Most men think of pistachios as a casual snack, something you crack open while watching a game or share at a family gathering. But inside those little green kernels lies one of the most concentrated natural sources of arginine, the amino acid your body transforms into nitric oxide. And as you now know, nitric oxide is the very messenger that tells your arteries to relax, widen, and flood your body with blood flow. A landmark clinical trial published in the International Journal of Impotence Research, 2011, followed men with erectile dysfunction who ate 100 grams of pistachios daily for just 3 weeks. The results: significant improvement in erectile function, better cholesterol profiles, and enhanced overall circulation without a single pill. I'll never forget Harold, a 65-year-old retired mechanic. He came into my office frustrated and ashamed. "Doc, the pills work for night, but I hate the side effects. My head pounds, my face flushes, and I feel like I'm faking it instead of actually being healthy." I told Harold something that made him laugh out loud at first. "Swap the pills for pistachios." He raised an eyebrow. "You're telling me these little green nuts are going to fix this?" I smiled. "Give it a month, you'll see." 3 weeks later, he came back. This time, his laughter wasn't disbelief, it was relief. "Doctor, I don't know how, but something's different. I feel alive again, and for once it doesn't feel forced." That, gentlemen, is the difference between masking a symptom and healing from within. Pistachios don't whip your body into a temporary performance. They rebuild circulation, restore vessel function, and support your heart and brain at the same time. And here's what makes them even more appealing: they're easy. A small handful a day, not a prescription, not a chore, just a snack that happens to be medicinal. So next time you see a bowl of pistachios, don't just think of them as finger food. Think of them as a daily investment in your masculinity, your confidence, and your longevity. And if pistachios can do this much, imagine the power of the next nut, one that not only fuels circulation, but also balances the very hormones that drive your desire. Nut-3, almonds, the hormone balancer. Gentlemen, circulation is only half the story. A man's vitality is not just about blood flow, it's about hormones. And that's where almonds come in, the quiet hormone balancer that too many men overlook. Among all the minerals your body needs to stay masculine, zinc is one of the most critical. Without zinc, testosterone production falters, desire fades, and even when blood flow is strong, the spark of intimacy can feel missing. Almonds are one of nature's richest sources of zinc, and that makes them a cornerstone food for men over 60. But they don't stop there. Almonds are also packed with vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that improves circulation, protects nerve health, and helps maintain the integrity of your blood vessels. Research published in the Journal of Human Reproductive Sciences, 2015, highlighted zinc's role in sustaining healthy testosterone and sperm quality. And studies in Nutrients, 2017, confirmed that vitamin E supports vascular function and protects against oxidative stress. I remember Victor, 68, who came to me not because he had no desire, but because he felt disconnected. He confessed, "Doc, I want to be close to my wife. The desire is still here in my mind, but my body doesn't follow anymore and it's killing me inside." I suggested something simple: replace the evening cookies he was eating with a handful of raw almonds. He chuckled at first. "Doc, cookies for nuts, that's hardly a fair trade." But he gave it a shot. 2 months later, he came back with a different kind of smile. His words were quiet but filled with relief. "Something's changed. I feel steadier, more alive." And she's noticed too. That's the hidden strength of almonds. They don't just open your blood vessels, they recalibrate the balance of your hormones, stabilize your mood, and give your body the raw materials to sustain desire. Gentlemen, let's be honest, intimacy isn't only about performance. It's about energy, confidence, and connection. And when your testosterone and circulation are in harmony, you don't just function, you thrive. So next time you reach for a snack, think of almonds not as just nuts, but as fuel for your hormones, protectors of your masculinity, and allies for your emotional connection. And if almonds can bring your desire back into balance, wait until you hear about the next nut. One that doesn't just spark or balance, it fuels. A nut that builds endurance, steadies your energy, and keeps you strong through the day and into the night. Nut-4, hazelnuts, the energy booster. Gentlemen, once desire is balanced, the next question every man asks me is simple. But do I still have the energy? Because let's be honest, what good is desire if your body runs out of fuel halfway through the day or halfway through the night? That's where hazelnuts come in. They may not get the same attention as walnuts or almonds, but make no mistake, hazelnuts are a quiet powerhouse, packed with the nutrients that fuel endurance. First, they are rich in magnesium, a mineral critical for producing energy at the cellular level. Without enough magnesium, your muscles tire quickly, your circulation stiffens, and your nervous system struggles to fire signals cleanly. Second, hazelnuts deliver healthy monounsaturated fats that stabilize cholesterol, keeping arteries smooth and blood flowing freely. And finally, they provide antioxidants like vitamin E, which reduce inflammation and protect artery walls from the slow damage of aging. Science agrees. A 2018 study in Nutrients showed that adding hazelnuts to the daily diet improved cardiovascular markers, reduced oxidative stress, and enhanced overall vascular health. That means more stamina, more consistent energy, and more reliable performance. I think of Thomas, 72, who came into my office with a heavy sigh. Doc, I want to be close to my wife, but by the time evening comes, I'm already drained. Even if my mind wants it, my body says no. I told him to make a small but steady change, add a handful of hazelnuts to his breakfast or afternoon snack. 3 weeks later, he returned with a different tone. I don't crash in the afternoon anymore, and at night, well, let's just say I've still got fuel in the tank. And he laughed, and for the first time in years, there was pride in his voice. That's the gift of hazelnuts. They don't give you a quick jolt like caffeine, they provide lasting fuel. Energy that carries you through your day, steadies your circulation, and leaves you with reserves when you need them most. So if almonds balance your hormones and pistachios spark nitric oxide, hazelnuts keep you going. They are the difference between short-lived energy and true stamina, the kind of stamina that defines masculinity at any age. And here's the exciting part, we're not done yet. Because the next nut takes us deeper into the very spark of manhood itself, the production of testosterone. Few foods influence it as powerfully as this one. Nut #5, Brazil nuts, the testosterone spark. Gentlemen, if hazelnuts fuel your stamina, Brazil nuts light the fire. I call them the testosterone spark because within these oversized, humble-looking nuts lies one of the most powerful nutrients for a man's vitality, selenium. Now, most men never think twice about selenium. It's not as famous as vitamin D or zinc. But here's what the science shows. Selenium is absolutely critical for testosterone production, sperm health, and the overall function of your endocrine system. In fact, low selenium has been linked with fatigue, hormonal imbalance, and reduced fertility in men. Research backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Urology 2018 found that selenium supplementation improved testosterone levels and sperm motility in older men. Another in biological trace element research demonstrated that selenium not only boosted hormone health but also reduced oxidative stress, protecting the delicate tissues of the testes and blood vessels. Here's the kicker. Brazil nuts are by far the richest natural source of selenium on Earth. Just 1 or 2 nuts can supply your entire daily requirement. That means no pills, no complex regimens, just a couple of nuts doing the work of an expensive supplement. I remember Robert, 70 years old, a retired teacher who came to me with slumped shoulders. He told me, "Doc, I feel flat, not just in the bedroom, but in life. My energy is low, my mood is dull, and I don't feel like the man I used to be." I suggested something deceptively simple. Eat 2 Brazil nuts each morning with breakfast. That's it. A month later, Robert came back with a spark in his eyes. "Doctor, I don't know what's happening, but I feel lighter. My energy is up, my mood has shifted, and my wife told me she sees the old me again. Could it really be the nuts?" Yes, Robert, it really could, because when testosterone rises naturally, it doesn't just restore performance, it restores presence, confidence, that magnetic energy that defines a man even in his later years. Gentlemen, this is why I call Brazil nuts the testosterone spark. They are not about chasing youth, they are about fueling the chemistry that keeps your spirit alive. And as powerful as they are, there's still one more nut to complete the picture, a nut that supplies the minerals your circulation and hormones desperately need to stay in balance. Nut hash 6, cashews, the mineral powerhouse. Gentlemen, if Brazil nuts light the spark of testosterone, cashews are the steady engine that keeps it running. I call them the mineral powerhouse because inside every handful is a cocktail of nutrients your masculinity can't live without. First, zinc. This single mineral is one of the most essential for men's health. Without zinc, your testosterone production stalls. Your immune system weakens. Even your mood and memory take a hit. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study showing that older men with low zinc intake had significantly lower testosterone levels, and when zinc was restored, their hormone levels improved. Second, magnesium. This mineral doesn't just relax muscles, it relaxes your blood vessels, boosting nitric oxide and allowing blood to flow more freely. A 2011 study in the International Journal of Andrology showed that men with higher magnesium intake had healthier testosterone levels and improved erectile quality. Cashews combine both zinc and magnesium in abundance, along with healthy fats and plant proteins. That makes them more than a snack. They are fuel for circulation, hormones, and muscular strength. I think of Samuel, 69, a retired veteran who came to me feeling worn down. Doc, I still want to live fully, but my body doesn't match my will. I feel tired, my drive is low, and intimacy feels like a memory. I told him to make one simple shift, keep a jar of raw cashews in his kitchen and eat a small handful every afternoon. 4 weeks later, he walked into my office standing taller. Doctor, I don't know if it's coincidence, but I've got my energy back. My mood's better, and when my wife looks at me, I feel like a man again. That's the mineral magic of cashews. They don't force an effect, they supply the raw materials your body is starving for. They recharge your endocrine system, relax your vessels, and give you the quiet confidence that comes when energy, hormones, and circulation all align. And here's the real beauty. When you combine cashews with Brazil nuts, almonds, pistachios, hazelnuts, and walnuts, you create a synergy, a complete daily arsenal that targets every pillar of male vitality. But here's the question I always hear next. Doc, how do I actually use them? How much, how often, and what's the right way to make them part of my life? That's exactly where we go next. How to use these nuts daily. Gentlemen, by now you know the 6 nuts that can transform your circulation, balance your hormones, fuel your energy, and reignite your confidence. But knowledge means little without action. The real question is, how do you weave them into your life so the benefits actually show up in your body? Here's the good news. It doesn't take complicated recipes or drastic changes. What matters most is consistency, not quantity. A modest handful each day, around 1 to 2 ounces, 30–60 grams, is enough to steadily improve blood flow, strengthen arteries, and support testosterone. So how do you do it? Morning fuel. Start your day by combining walnuts and Brazil nuts. Just 2 Brazil nuts plus a small handful of walnuts with breakfast deliver omega-3, selenium, and arginine to set your circulation in motion. Midday boost. Instead of cookies or chips, reach for almonds and cashews. Their zinc and magnesium stabilize hormones and calm your nervous system, keeping your energy steady through the afternoon. Evening balance. Pistachios and hazelnuts make the perfect evening snack. They relax vessels, support nitric oxide, and give you the stamina to carry your energy into the night without the crash of sugar or caffeine. One patient of mine, Leonard, 66, kept a jar of mixed nuts on his kitchen counter. Each time he passed by, he grabbed a small handful. No measuring, no stress. Within weeks, he told me, "Doc, I feel different. My focus is sharper during the day, and at night, I feel like I've got power again." Science confirms it. Multiple studies, including those in Circulation and the International Journal of Impotence Research, show that daily nut consumption improves endothelial function, reduces cholesterol, and enhances erectile quality. Key is daily use. Skipping for weeks and then binging won't work. Your body responds to steady input just like it does to exercise or sleep. And here's something deeper. Once men make this simple habit part of their day, they often notice changes far beyond the bedroom. Better memory, stronger legs, a calmer mood. Because when your arteries are open, when your hormones are steady, every part of your life benefits. So don't treat these nuts as an occasional snack. And treat them as daily medicine, fuel for your heart, your brain, and your manhood. But there's still one more truth you need to hear. Because as powerful as these nuts are, their impact goes beyond intimacy. The same circulation that fuels your erections is the very circulation that keeps you alive. And that's the bigger picture we must end with. Gentlemen, let's step back for a moment. We've talked about circulation, erections, testosterone, stamina, and confidence. But here's the truth every man must hear. Improving your erections is not just about intimacy. It's about protecting your life. The very same arteries that deliver blood to your penis are the ones that feed your heart and your brain. When erections fade, it is often your body's first whisper that trouble is coming. Ignore it. And that whisper can become a shout in the form of a heart attack or a stroke. I've seen it firsthand. Men who came to me embarrassed about their performance only to later discover that what was happening in the bedroom was a mirror of what was happening in their arteries. And I've seen the opposite too, men who made simple, consistent changes. A handful of walnuts, pistachios, almonds, hazelnuts, Brazil nuts, and cashews each day. And not only did intimacy return, but their blood pressure dropped, their cholesterol improved, their hearts grew stronger, and their energy carried them through the day. This is the bigger picture. These foods don't just give you back your spark in the bedroom, they give you more years with your wife, more laughter with your grandchildren, more mornings where you wake up with energy, purpose, and pride. So tomorrow morning, when you walk into your kitchen, remember this moment. You can reach for sugar, empty calories, and resignation, or you can reach for 6 simple nuts that whisper life back into your body. And before you leave, do something small for yourself right now. Hit the like button, not for me, but as your personal signal to the universe. I choose life, I choose vitality. And here's my blessing for you. May every man who clicks like today wake with stronger energy, steadier circulation, and a renewed spark of hope. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because each week I'll bring you practical, science-backed truths that help men over 60 reclaim their vitality without dangerous shortcuts. And tell me in the comments, type yes if you're ready to fight for your health or no if you need me to earn your trust. Either way, I promise I'll be here walking this journey with you. Gentlemen, your story isn't over. Your body is not finished. And once you choose to ignite that spark, everything changes.